Well, hello there. It's the Archivist from tradingcardarchives.com, and I'm back today to do another meta video. I know I've done a couple of those recently, but I've just felt like it's time to kind of start adding some different segments and things, but I don't know if it's working or not. So I'd really appreciate it if you could comment and just let me know if you enjoyed this style of video versus the card opening videos, or if you want a mix of them or less of one or more of the other. Just let me know. If you hate this kind of meta video, please tell me. You won't hurt my feelings. It'll just help the channel grow better if I do content that people like. So, but this is something I thought might be kind of fun to do. So, but I don't know. Maybe it'll turn out horrible and no one will like it. But maybe it'll spark your imagination. Who knows? But the concept is, if I had $1 million, which is a song by Bare Naked Ladies, right? And they're going to buy a real green dress, I think is what they were going to do. But anyway, in the song. But what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we just won the lottery or something, right? And we already bought our Lamborghini and our house and all that kind of stuff. And so now it's time to just buy some fun stuff with our money, right? And what would you do, right? And it's kind of fun to think about. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to eBay. And what I've done is I've picked out 10 products of various prices, but the prices will increase as we go through the list, right? So the lowest price items first. And these are just kinds of things that I have been looking at before buying anyway, but were just too expensive for me at each of the levels, right? And so, the first level will be like just barely too expensive for me, and the last level will be like more than a car expensive. So, and we're going to go through that, and we're going to basically look at each of these products, talk about them a little bit. I'll tell you why it would be on my list. And I'm curious to hear your feedback. Like, what would you do if would these be some of the things you would get, or are there different things you would get? I don't know, right? So I'm very curious to learn from other people what they might like, because a couple of the things on this list are things I only know about because commenters told me, right? I didn't know they existed at all before this. So that's why I think videos like this can be fun, and they can help us all kind of learn from each other, which I think is a great thing to do. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'll bring up the eBay screen now. There it is. And this is the first product that I picked out. And remember, these are going to go up in price as we go. So this is, you can think of this as like a top 10 list, right? And this is the 10th item in the list. We're moving our way up to one. But this is one of many James Bond trading card sets. Now, James Bond is a franchise that I am weirdly fascinated with. I don't know why, but there's certain Bond movies that I just really love, and I watch them again and again and again. And to the point that my wife will leave the room because she just cannot watch these movies anymore. But I love these so much. I have the full collection, the full Blu-ray collection of them all. I have a bunch of memorabilia, that kind of stuff. But I've never ever gotten any James Bond trading cards. This box is the one that I would be the most interested in getting. It's the Bond Villains and Henchmen set, and there are relic memorabilia cards in here from all of the movies. So going all the way back, all the different eras of Bond, which is why I really like this particular box over some of the other boxes that are available, which maybe focus on a single movie or a single era. This one is really everything, right? And so and it's also the bad guys, which I think are much more interesting than Bond himself. So yeah, this would be one of the things I would get, except it's $200, which is just way too much for me, like way too much. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but the things that I buy here are typically like $10, $15. So this is like 10 times this much already. So it's not something I'm going to buy unless there's a big occasion coming up. That said, I've had this box in my David Adams cart for like a year. I just have never committed to the order because I'm just not willing to pay that much. That's all there is to it. But someday maybe someone will sell one by accident for cheaper or something. I don't know. Anyway, but if you're interested in James Bond sets, this is the one I would recommend. I think it's the best James Bond set out there, and also, reasonably priced. So moving on then to number 9. This is one of those products that I I guess I should have known existed because Spawn was this wildly popular thing in the 90s, like crazy popular. Everyone had t-shirts, there were comic books, there were action figures, there were lots of trading card sets. There was a movie. Honestly, like if you haven't seen the movie in a long time, it's hard to watch these days, but it's not that bad of a movie. It's kind of funny actually. So I would recommend seeing the movie, but maybe drink a little as you're watching it. But this is, I think, one of the better sets of Spawn trading cards that you can get. Although it is at $149, so it's still quite a bit of money, more than I would pay, and I don't think I would pay this much for it. But it's a very interesting set, and it's one that I would love to have someday. So, there probably will come a point where I will buy this, just probably not for that amount of money. Although again, this is something where I just did not know it existed until someone told me about it. And so then moving on up, this is box 8 in my list. This is Monty Python's Flying Circus. So that's the old television show Monty Python made. And this is a trading card set based on that show. How amazing is that? I really can't say enough like how awesome that is as a product that it exists. And I don't know if you saw the side of the box there. This is kind of related to a CD-ROM game that came out in the early, late 90s, I guess, which had all the same kind of artwork as from the Monty Python television show. Now, I love Monty Python as well. I have all their movies. I love all their comedy and stuff. I think it's great. But it's another one where, as cool as this set is, I just can't bring myself to pay that amount of money for it. So it's kind of sat on my list for a long time, but it's just not something I've picked up yet. But if anyone's looking to get me a gift, that is a pretty good one. I would love to have, although it's a little bit pricey. But moving on from Monty Python, something a little darker now, The Crow. So this is The Crow, and specifically the movie one, which if you remember, this is like the good movie, the original Crow movie, not the second one, which is also really good. Like the Crow's City of Angels movie is, honestly, I really like that movie too. But this is the first one. This and the comic is just amazing. Like this is a comic that I read serially when it first came out, similar to Sandman. I bought it issue by issue as it came out. I have an omnibus now. I think it's just an amazing, beautiful story, and a lot of like cool gothic elements and things. And when you're a teenager, like this was, edgelord stuff for me. So I really enjoyed it. But at $400 a box, which is a pretty typical price for this these days, even though these are 90s cards and you'd think they were overprinted like crazy, this particular set is getting very hard to find. And even like a $3.99 price is a very good price for this. But obviously that is way past anything I could possibly pay. So this is going to be a dream set for me for a long time, just because I don't think I'll ever be able to pay that amount of money for it. But maybe I could get a set or something at some point, or some of the cards or something like that. But for now, it remains a dream. So that was 10, 9, 8, 7. So let's move on then to 6. So this is box 6. The prices are starting to go up. As I said, I just kind of made these choices myself. I was shopping on eBay and picking out things that I think I would like. This one here is the Star Wars Galaxy series from 2021. So just a couple years ago. If I had started this project a year earlier, I would have a box of this, because I always buy a box of Star Wars Galaxy every year. I buy it at basically full price because you kind of have to. It's the kind of product, this is an art card set product from Topps, officially licensed and everything. And it's the sort of product that only goes up, right? It doesn't go down, this one. That's not the true for all of Topps products. A lot of their Star Wars stuff only goes down, right? But Galaxy only goes up. And that's because it has sketch cards, autographs, and all kinds of numbered cards. And also people just love the cards, right? They're just such beautiful images. And so This particular Chrome set from 2021 was about $200 when it first came out. These days, the boxes are over 1,000. This one's 1,100. You might be able to find some slightly cheaper than that, but they're all should be around $1,000, or you're getting ripped off. Basically, if someone's selling you this box for $500, it's not real. For the real price for this is about $1,000 right now, and unfortunately, I can't afford that even close, so I'm not going to be getting that. But what an amazing thing to have if I could. The sketches in there are just mind-blowingly awesome. So yeah, very interested in that set, but not something that I can pick up right now. Speaking of things I can't pick up right now, here is Masters of the Universe. So this is specifically the movie. So these are stickers, not cards, stickers that came out in '87 from Panini, and this is for the Masters of the Universe movie, which if you haven't seen the movie, you're really missing out because it is spectacular. I watch it. It's another movie I watch way too often. No one will watch this with me, but my wife is going on a trip to a film festival next week. I will almost definitely watch this movie while she's gone because she won't watch it when I'm here. But yeah, wonderful set of cards. And also this pack, this box of sticker cards goes with an album. So what you do is kind of like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles album that I'm always filling the stickers in. It's just like that. And it's an album that I had when I was a kid. I had this exact one. And these days, the album alone will cost you $500, right? It's completely crazy. But the stickers, as you can see, are insanely rare. Individual packs sell for $20 to $30 right now. They were a quarter when they first came out. And then, as you can see, the sealed boxes are well in the thousands of dollars. This one is $1,300. There's probably slightly cheaper ones that you can find somewhere, but I was looking around, and this looked like the best, most legit looking one, and that's the price it costs. So another one where I don't know, it's a lot. Okay, so then moving on, now we're getting into the really high-end stuff. Here's box 4. Which is actually 2 boxes, but there's a series of these. These are the DC Comics Bombshells. So they're basically the women characters from DC Comics on cards. So think of them as like waifu cards, basically. It's kind of what they are, although not graphic in that sense. These were printed by Cryptozoic, and there are 3 boxes in the set. So there was set 1, 2, and 3. Set 1, impossible to find. If you can find a box of set 1 at all, it will be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. It'll be insane. Boxes 2 and 3 still sort of available, but also very rare at this point. This was one of the only listings I found that had either one of them, and they're listed together for $1,400, which is not a terrible price for this particular set, although I can't pay that much. But if you are interested in DC cards at all, you probably know that they don't make very many DC trading cards. Upper Deck had that license for a long time and just basically didn't use it. They basically printed nothing. This was printed by Cryptozoic before Upper Deck got it, and then now Topps has the license. So Topps just got the license like a week ago. They just got it, and so we should start to get now some decent DC sets. But not for like a year. It'll take them a while to plan a set and everything. But this is something I don't think we'll ever get again. These waifu style cards, no one's going to make that again. So this is kind of left to history. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to get even just a pack of these, they're a ton of fun to look at and open. But just a little too expensive. So, but a dream one, right? Like if I had $1 million, I would totally buy that right away. Okay, then moving forward, another Star Wars product. This is Star Wars CCG. So this was the licensed card game, CCG collectible card game from the 90s by Decipher. So Decipher is the company that made this. And if you know meta information about me, you know that this is one of my obsessions, this particular game. I have tons of things from it. I actually don't have very many cards from it. I have only a few cards. I used to have a lot, but when I went to college, my parents threw them away. I don't have them anymore. But what I have now are uh, I have just like one anthology set, a few of the cards that I kept, a lot of custom cards that I've made myself, and then a lot of memorabilia like uncut sheets and things like that. But if I had $1 million, I would rebuild my collection, and part of rebuilding your collection means getting Reflections 3. So that's what this particular box is here. You see the title Reflections 3 on it. Um, that set is very special because it was printed at, this was the last box ever printed in these series. And there were like 14 or 15 different releases in the series. This was the last one. And this one includes cards from the entire set. So they have reprinted cards in here from the whole set, but they're all foil treatment, like new foil treatments. And then there are a ton of brand new cards that are super, super powerful cards for the game in this set. Like some of them literally broke the game and they had to get banned right away because they're just crazy powerful. But as you can see, this box is incredibly rare. This particular one is sealed in acrylic, which I think is amazing. I love that. There are unsealed ones that are slightly less expensive. I think I found some for like 5,000 or so, but they all should be in that range. So you should not be able to buy this for less than about $5,000, or you're getting ripped off. But yeah, that's about how much that should cost. Now the premier sets are a little cheaper, about 400 a box, but still you would need, if you want a complete collection, you need this. And so this, you would have to pay this. This is the top end product in the set. And yeah, not something I'm going to be buying today, but man, that would be amazing to have. Okay, now moving on to 9. This is going to be super weird, but another strange obsession of mine, the Crocodile Hunter. So Steve Irwin, right? He made these amazing videos teaching you about animals and just had this like really great attitude towards everything, right? And so this set of trading cards kind of celebrated his Crocodile Hunter television show when it was on in the early 2000s before he tragically died. He was killed by a stingray, and that kind of ended his ability to make animal movies for us. But this trading card set is now one of the most rare sets, non-sports sets that exist. And I know that seems weird to think about because you're like, wait a second, it's the Crocodile Hunter. It is, man. I'm not joking. Look at the pricing on this. This particular one in Canadian dollars is 13,000, but in US dollars, it's almost $10,000, like for this one box, right? And yeah, this very, very challenging thing to find at all. And when you do, they're going to be priced in this insane range just because they're so rare. Very few were printed, and out of the ones that were printed, most were just thought to be nothing and thrown away, right? But this is now insanely valuable and something that I would personally love to have. Although, again, at $10,000, I'm probably never going to get that. But it's a fun thing to know about. And I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't think Crocodile Hunter would be on this list at all, or would be a top tier product in the trading card world. Here we are. Okay, moving on then. The last item I have to show you today is another really, really interesting and kind of special listing. These are the original movie cards for Star Wars. So when Star Wars first came out, Topps was producing wax boxes of trading card gum cards. So these all had gum in them. And they put out 5 boxes for the first movie. There were 5, right? Series 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all came out. And this particular seller has all 5 of those in acrylic cases sealed. That's amazing on its own. But then he also has all of the Empire Strikes Back and all of the Return of the Jedi ones. So there were 3 Empire and 3 Jedi ones. So for the low price of basically $36,000, you can own the entire collection of original top Star Wars cards, all acrylically sealed in acrylic. And if I had $1 million, I would do that. I don't have $1 million, so I can't do that. But yeah, if you do have $1 million, highly recommend. Maybe not this particular auction. There were a few other ways to get this. Although keep in mind these are all very expensive boxes. So even if you think like, oh, I'll put this collection together cheaper than this guy has it, you probably could. But every single one of your buys would be a risk that you're going to get a damaged product or get ripped off or whatever, right? And so you're taking, 9 or 10 risks instead of one risk, and every single one of those risks carries a multi-thousand-dollar price tag. So you got to make your own decision there. But yeah, if I was looking to just if I just had the money, this is what I would do. So yeah, this is definitely my number one of everything. So anyway, there you go. That's what I would do. That's my sort of archivist dream shopping on eBay. I know it might have been a strange video, a little different than what I usually do, but I thought it might be fun to kind of show you how I think about this sort of thing outside of the anime world, right? This is the non-sports world. So yeah, let me know what you would have done if you like any of these auctions I picked, or if there's other things you would have chosen. I would love to learn about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments. And otherwise, for now, I'll let you go and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.